Hello friends, welcome to this new episode on Indian cricket. Today let us delve deeper into how India ace batters performed against England Lions. Well, it turned out to be a memorable day for most of them, as from Karun Nair to Jurel to Sarfaraz Khan, all of them made important contributions. So let us look at them one by one. To start with, it didn't turn out to be a memorable day for someone like Abhimanyu Easwaran. He could only score 8 runs and he was adjudged LBW of Hull. From his perspective, it didn't go well for him even against Australia A, where he was getting squared up by someone like Jordan Buckingham, and here he was LBW while facing Hull. From his perspective, if you look at it, the think tanks, especially on tour, would look at performances in these A games, and it doesn't bode well for him, especially considering the fact that he's a standby opener. Most likely, Jurel and Jaiswal will open the batting. Next up is Jaiswal. He's very much a backward player with a backward trigger. So in these conditions, what could happen is with him staying back, pace bowlers from over the wicket could look to bowl in a fuller length, try to induce him to edge one behind. Yes, a couple of times he did edge it behind, but fortunately for him, it just fell in front of the slip fielders. Eventually, tried a hike across the line and he was dismissed. See what happens with someone like Jaiswal when he plays away from home is with his backward trigger, he has to make that one extra movement to come forward, and from his perspective, he might have to really lunge forward to get the pitch of the ball. But Jaiswal did show that he has the ability to tweak his game as per the conditions in Australia, where he was looking to come forward, make a couple of steps, take a couple of steps forward to negate the plan of the opposition bowling on a fuller length and trying to induce him to edge one behind from over the wicket. He still would be disappointed with how he got out while trying to play hike across the line after doing the hard work, after getting through or after wading through the early phase where it was moving off the deck. So from his point of view, it didn't go well. But then there was Karun Nair, who showed great judgment in the first session. He paddled through that session where the ball was seaming around. He was playing late, and that was the main factor to look at. Yes, county experience, and that also must have helped him. Yes, there have been problems with Karun Nair as well in the past against the Nippacker. We saw that in the Vijay Hazare Trophy game where Prashant Krishna just cleaned him up with a beautiful delivery, with a crackerjack delivery that seamed back in considerably, swung a little, and then seamed back in considerably to rattle the timber. But in this particular game, on day one, he showed the required temperament, he showed the required technique to wade through the first session. He also was ensuring that he won't leave any gap between bat and pad. That's a clear indicator that he was releasing his back foot early so that his front foot would go towards the pitch of the ball. So that was a big plus from India's perspective, because he went on to then cash in and play all those big shots while facing Rian Ahmed and others. Yes, he was dropped once just before maybe the end of the second session where he chased a wideish delivery. But other than that, he showed exemplary technique. He was playing late. As I noted, he was ensuring that he was closing the gap between bat and pad against the Nippacker, and that is how he was able to negate that potential threat of all those deliveries nipping back in or seaming back in and castling him or taking him out LBW. Then there was Sarfaraz Khan. You know what you get with him. He played a lot of shots behind square and offside, maybe the occasional hike across the line, a few flicks through the leg side, and that is what he did. He played a lot of rams. He scored a lot of runs to the third man region. A few of them were through outside edges, thick edges. But that is his key strength. He's someone who can irritate the opposition, fluster the opposition with his unorthodox game. Just that the management need to have a little bit of, what can you say, patience. The management would have to take in its stride that he will play a few ungainly shots, he will look little unorthodox, sometimes more than little. But he can play this kind of knocks where once he gets in, he can really irritate or fluster the opposition. A bigger test will come for both of these because if you look at the Lions attack, none of them bowled over 82 miles per hour. Someone like Akhtar, who is a second division bowler from Gloucestershire, didn't really look threatening. Eddie Jack has not played a single first class game. He's an under 19 cricketer. Until recently, he was playing for England under 19. Then you have Hull, who has some potential, very tall bowler, but at present he looks very raw. Yes, he's already played one test match. Somewhere they were definitely missing Sonny Baker, an impressive young pace bowler who got injured. Yes, they could have picked Dylan Pennington. That could have given the India lineup a little more practice because he's a pretty good bowler. But for some reason, the selectors, England Lions selectors, didn't do that. But that doesn't take anything away from all these batters because runs are runs. The conditions were quite tough. In the first session, they had to wade through it, and both of them did well. As did Blue Jurel, who definitely has the required temperament and technique. We have seen that before. The first over of his Test career itself encapsulated his game, his technique, because he was able to load, press, and release very early against James Anderson's outswinger and left it really easily. In that particular series against England itself, he showed the required temperament. Yes, you can say that the ball wasn't really moving around in that test series played in India, but he definitely has the game. He belongs to the old edicts of batsmanship against the moving ball, and he showed that in the game against England Lions. Obviously, the pick of the batters was Karun Nair. He's someone who showed that he has different gears. Not just technique, not just ability to leave the ball, not just ability to play late, not just ability to ensure that the bat and pad is very close together, tucked close together so that he can negate the nip packer. But he also played a lot of shots. Once the conditions got easier, he played cuts, he played pulls, and he played drives, and he was very strong against the spinner Rehan. So thank you for going through this video. Subscribe to our F Sports channel, YouTube channel. We don't just cover we don't just cover cricket. We also cover other sports. Just keep in touch. Thank you.